Hello! I decided to record a night call for my first ever video, and while editing it now, I realize I can be a lot quieter at times in this, which can make it difficult to know what I'm saying. I was also sick at the time of recording, so I apologize for the nasality and the sniffing and the blowing my nose, but I hope I sound more bearable now. With that being said, I do plan on recording more of this game at times where I am not under the weather, so hopefully the rest of this playthrough shouldn't stay that way. I hope you enjoy. By the way, I try my best to do semi-decent voices in text-based games, so there might be some screaming. Just so you know. Enjoy. Okay, this is Night Call. I don't know that much about this game. I just know that you're a taxi driver who drives people around the place and you listen to them talk about their lives and such. It's a Vibey game. It was on Game Pass for a while. I played like an hour of it and then stopped. And then it got taken off Game Pass and I was butthurt about it because I actually liked the hour that I played of it. I'm sorry if I sound like shit. This is actually the first time you're hearing my voice, so rest assured I don't always sound this shit. I'm just a little sick today, so if you hear any sniffles, if I sound really congested, that is the reason why. I might cut out me blowing my nose. I might keep it in for if it is funny. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what free roaming is. I don't know what the Passadex is. Oh, it's probably like people that you meet, something like that. Anyway, let's just get into it. You see what I mean? It's a vibey ass game. Choose the investigation? What the fuck? Victims have all something in common and the motives seem clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Random victims, unknown motive, weird case, slightly more difficult than the others. The victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection, yet the motives might be hard to find. Dark and twisted case. Let's go with the judge. Victims all have something in common and the motives seem clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for a first run. Why not? Money will be easy to get by, the investigation will be easier, every action will take less time for a chiller experience, the way Night Call was designed. Why not? I'm so fucking ready. Oh, what is... Oh. The quality's bad for me too, guys. That's not, the video. I swear. I hope noise suppression did good there. Okay, gas station. What is that, a corpse? Alright. So we're also an investigator? Here. Sir, can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? You're fine. She takes a deep breath. Oh, it's, Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma? The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. Hold up, there's like a fleck on my screen. Let me... Okay, I got it. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver, and in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced. Her voice becomes more distant, fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth. Your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. That wasn't a whistle, but your fingers move to your wound underneath the bandages. You can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. Did they... I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You turn your head to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care he's the only witness. He's... Another female voice joins in. A strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make out what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not fatigue. It's not pain, not fatigue. Some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you'd never realize that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later... Night 1! Whoa! What the fuck? 327 euro? Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rearview mirror. Sorry. I just want to go back to normal, to clear my head, to stop thinking about it all. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know. I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet. Again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to the old country. I keep trying to go for like a French accent, but I keep like swerving off towards Russian. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me, to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me. His hand flutter in the air. Though none of them could on any match for you. He smiles. His voice suddenly takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Yeah, sure. Right then. But first, the map. You spot potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going. Then you decide. When the customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It is business. No problem. The other fares. You look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. He flashes a quick mechanical smile. You know him well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers, and his voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Oh, right. No overtime. We are in France here, and there are rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while, as if he's hesitant to speak, and then, I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there, and we think he's going to come back for you. He could have seen your... He doesn't know who I am. He could have seen your face. The police are positive he didn't. He attacked from behind. I fell to the ground, then he took off. Silence. Your eyes lock. He holds your gaze. He wants to believe you, to be on your side. He looks away. Anyway, I let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. Good night. Same to you, and good luck. He'll spend the rest of the night dealing with problems and drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about, taxis coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tinkle down your spine. Hold up, I gotta blow my nose. Ugh. Jesus. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. It's back to the night shift. Back to life. Despite the attack. Despite it all. What? Oh, wow. Oh. Okay. There's a lot of people. Okay. Well, let's see. It's 10 o'clock. We got €327. This one's flashing for some reason. So let's go pick that one up. Salim Wadian, Saint-Nouen, distance 4 kilometers, a €13 fare. I don't see why not. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed into the back seat of your cab. His face has been plastered all over the news for the last few weeks. He's a lawyer. A lawyer who's representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. Everything all right? He answers without looking up. Yes. You get the message and leave him alone. You continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters, why did he say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. Doesn't get it. Idiot. There again. He says it again. Is he contradicting himself or just... You glance in your mirror. The lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. You're sure everything's alright? He closes his eyes and remains silent for a while. You see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath. He loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster, he's a total idiot. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to get on only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? Sorry. He yells so loudly the windows shake. I'm sorry. When he answers, his voice is icy cold. No need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry about. He pauses. Barely. Just the time to take a breath. Oh. I don't know how that screaming picked up in the mic, so I'll just tone it down. Jesus effing Christ already! He kicks the seat in front of him. Jesus! He calms himself down. He steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged through the mud. He raises his hand, snickers. Yeah, I admit it at first. I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion about everything. I shook so many hands, said so many words, sentences, yet I actually said nothing. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now, in 5 hours, I have to be on radio, and 7 on TV. He pauses, breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. You need to try to calm down. I don't even know what that means anymore. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric. Disgusting. So horrific, it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails. The nails that were in the bombs at the corner market. And he kept the receipt. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded in half and slipped it into his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? He thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid. And so dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Why defend him then? Because everyone has the right to an attorney. Everyone, without exception. Otherwise, justice is no longer just. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on... How do I... Oh. I didn't read that, I'm sorry. The guys never even read the holy book they used to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? He chuckles. I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. He takes a deep breath, unlike me, who just took a massive exhalation breath. I don't have anyone else to talk with about it. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed she went back to Algeria. He's shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is when people just lump things together. I'm not a terrorist. I am not a murderer. You made the right choice. The right choice? Laughter echoes in the back of his throat. I barely had the choice. I couldn't let injustice triumph. Everyone has the right to counsel, to stand trial, to have a fair trial. Even terrorists, even morons. His anger is back, but this time around he's got it under control. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stays quiet for a moment, catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. These rights have been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi has almost reached its destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I needed to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it, that I ran into you tonight? I mean, as if... No, forget it. You pull over, he pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but he hands you another bill. Here. This is for you. For listening. For hearing what I had to say. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved, gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat. As he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. Ooh, it could be important. I'm not gonna say anything. He walks out, waves, yeah. You turn around and grab the envelope your suspect left behind. You'll open it when you get home tonight. You drive off. Okay. Where to next? The night is still young. Why not? This woman is like literally right there, so. Somewhere high up, there's still a light on, a shadow at work. The words, I can sense them. Alicia Clefs. Your next passenger immediately raises her hand. I don't know what voice to give her. Drive. I don't care where, I just need you to drive. Start driving. You turn the key in the ignition. Yes. There, good. Keep going this way. Her voice, deep, full, makes you slightly uncomfortable. With closed eyes, she seems like she's in a place far from the backseat of your taxi. When she starts speaking, there's an odd whistle in her voice, like she has a hole in one of her teeth. Slow down. Frail or fragile? A bit surprised, you look back at her in the mirror. Answer me. Frail or fragile? I'm not sure. Don't think about it, just say the first one that comes to mind. Frail or fragile? Freckle. You know them. Yes, you know. You must. She giggles. Both words actually have the same root. The smile spreads across her face. 2 words, 2 units. A life went on and words mixed once again. She pauses. You okay? She doesn't hear your question because she starts to scream. Oh, great. Go down this street and stop. You speed up on the quiet street. The cold weather has driven away all the passers-by. There. Yes. Good. I've got it. She cries out with joy and it resonates in the cab. I've got it! Hold on, I gotta blow my nose again. Look, the words are right there. They're wandering past us like sheep, like... She explodes with laughter. What words? She immediately stops laughing. She silences you with a wave of her hand. Now, I must write. She closes her hands, her fingers stroke imaginary upholstery. The frail are forced into battle. Together come the children, a son and a daughter standing tall to salute. They will cry, oh yes they will cry. The eaglets fly behind. The frail will say, your passenger freezes. When she opens her eyes again, she stares at you. What happens when you sleep? She's waiting for your answer. I sleep. I dream. She tilts her head to the side just a bit. No, that's a lie, and you know it. And what happens when you drive? I make a living. Exactly. You give your time to others. She laughs strangely, almost a snicker, as her eyelids droop. And the son will say, frail father, I want you to come back to life. And the daughter will say, frail father, I want you to come back a winner. The whistle in her voice grates on your ears. The father responds, you must choose, as the eaglet lands upon his shoulder. Together they fly off, and thus all began. Fragile, frail, two paths that can't be fooled. The son and daughter will grow up, though not at the same pace. When early one morning, 20 years later, they wake up. They wake to the sound of a bugle. The sound will be beaten, churned, and clubbed, until she stops, her eyes slowly open. Until the sun... No! Stop the car! You follow orders and brake hard. The eaglet. She shakes her head. The words. Your passenger pinches her face. Oh no, I can feel the words getting away from me. Ah! She opens the door and runs off down the street. By the time you turn around, she's vanished. You sit there for a moment. Something hits your windshield. You get out of the car, lean toward the wipers, and discover a small white seashell. You look around. No one. You hurry back to the driver's seat and drive away. The door suddenly opens and a woman gets into the back seat. Having a busy night. For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks I've been saying to myself, there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. Well, before she does that, I have to blow my nose. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints like she's trying to make you out from far away. You'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah, between us it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you, but not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. She smirks. Nah, I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17. An icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you've got out, you've kept a low profile. But you're lying about your name. And your address? I checked. It's normal, you'd say. If they get word out of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car, meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining, cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name, with evidence. Actually knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So I'll give you info, victims, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet, keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. I've never done this. She shrugs. Don't worry, you're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're no Batman. You're just here to get me more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take the card. I'll call you in 3-4 days just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught, don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me. She knows you've done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. She acknowledges your silence with a nod. Okay, I think you got a handle on our little deal. Any problems? I turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it. Your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest, spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know just what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours in your handle, I'll welcome you with open arms. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. I can't botch this case, you got me? And neither can you, right? Well, great then. We see eye to eye. So you can just say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your gut, you saw your own insides, you were in a coma. Yeah, you've plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh right, and don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. Yeah, whatever, if that makes you feel better. I'll make sure you get more until tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone. Obviously, not a word. The door opens, squeaks and slams shut. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop will lift a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running, radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Sorry about that. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. Oh, are we home now? You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Busette gave you onto the table. On the wall, you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of. Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most compelling evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. Okay. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understanding how he or she got into the situation. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. It's time to get moving on your investigation. So we have Selim Wadien. He's He's a well-known lawyer. He's a defender on the Dower case. Defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Was a promising football player when he was 10. Homeless man with an unknown background. Briefly worked for Charles Bogren in the 90s. Got health issues after Richteden health scandal. Got a couple of arrests for breaking and entering. Retired cop, joined the police in 1977, divorced from a judge. Born in the French Antilles, and he moved to mainland France in 1976. Cop in Paris. Dad was a cop, died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after Richteden health scandal. Gay, in a relationship, never discloses information at work. Okay, so height. Okay. So there's certain things that fit. For example, everyone here is shorter than 6 feet or 6 foot. Paul Marie Fragonard here did used to own a gun. Herve Griol had a message on the crime scene. And matches the height. Selim is not only shorter than the killer's height, is not only possibly the killer's height, but he also had a message on the crime scene titled Justice, and he is investigating the first 3 victims. Interesting. Well, I think I'm gonna leave this here, mainly because of this, but I hope it was fun. I don't have an outro. I might edit this to be its own video. It might be in a compilation. I have no idea. But I liked this. I hope to play it again. I'll record it next time. And yeah, I'm open to feedback, constructive or not. Say what you want, do what you want. You are bound by nothing. And yeah. See you.